refuge, homes for our flora and fauna, and even human beings. Forests offer livelihoods to both animals and human beings. Forests, they are the signature of our diversity. In them, you find the bounties of nature. It's not a one tree. It is a composition of many different species, Madam Speaker. Forests are sources of water. They are rainmakers, indeed. From them flow the fountains of all forms of water, rivers that provide us with life. Madam Speaker, forests are the source, are indeed the sink of carbon, the biggest nuisance today globally to what we call climate change. They are the ones required to absorb the carbon so that we are safe on planet Earth. Without forest, then all other problems follow. Madam Speaker, forests are the generator of health indeed. Without forests, we will not be healthy. And the management and the conservation of all of forests means trying to fortify all those utilities we get from forests. It's about sustainable management, not managing it for today, but for posterity. Why should we do that? Because at the rate things have been going, the rate of desertification, the rate of deforestation, illegal logging, all kinds of negative anthropogenic activities have to be maintained and managed. And conservation, for that matter now, means at least a planned use, protection, and preservation. Preservation bringing in the aspect of wise use of our natural resources, using it today and making sure that whatever we are using is available for generations to come, a sustainable basis. Madam Speaker, the bill from the outset brings in the devolution of forestry in Kenya Forest Service. That is in sync, in consonance with our constitution, that there is a devolved component of the Kenya Forest Services. So that in itself makes what was existing to be in tandem with our constitutional order. Madam Speaker, it also uplifts our legal framework from where it was to an international level, so that it is at par with all the international practices. So it uplifts the legal framework, our local legal framework, Madam Speaker. One important thing that it brings to the fore is the classification of forests from public, private, and community forests. That means with devolution, there should be community forests. And I love that because it brings public participation into in forestry. Madam Speaker, it brings reforms in institutions. It has proposed the creation of Forest Regulatory Directorate, which is concerned with its standards, and Kenya Forest Academy for training, specialized training, and for refresher courses. Madam Speaker, in ourselves, it has brought in the aspect of dry land forestry. Forests are not only in the high altitude areas. Bushlands, woodlands are also part and parcel of our forests. So by harvesting water and making sure that there is forestry in the ourselves, drylands, that is a welcome move, Madam Speaker. It brings the aspect of enforcement very well. Kenya Forest Service warders have been transformed to a disciplined force, a disciplined team, uniformed and disciplined, meaning they shall be enforcing. They shall not just be watchers, They will not just be like security guards as it was, but now they will have that further teeth to enforce, the muscle to enforce that which is within, under their mandate, under the armpit of Kenya Forest Services. Madam Speaker, the legal framework for managing carbon trade has been brought in. Initially, it was haphazard. You could hear some communities have earned from carbon trade. There was no way, there's no legal framework for that kind of thing. This amendment brings in the legal framework to make sure that carbon trade is being managed. Furthermore, it brings the easements. There has been cases of where forest land has just been interfered with. A lot of complaints, hue and cry about what belonged to Kenya Forest Services being exercised. Now, it allows a way to make sure that there are easements in case there is need for public utilities, be they roads, other infrastructure for public good, not against conservation and management of our forest. Madam Speaker, it also brings in that aspect of managing fragile ecosystems. Ecosystems that are fragile, sensitive, that need to be taken care of. Any move to exploit such ecosystems will be so disastrous. So to make sure that they are not disturbed, this bill accommodates and takes notes of sensitive, fragile ecosystems that need very serious care. And that brings in the work of the Kenya Forestry Institute that is concerned with making sure that indigenous forests, we have had issues where some particular trees were being brought to the country, and they have colonized and taken over rangelands, grazing areas, to the detriment of other growths, other trees. With this amendment, there is need to make sure that our native trees, indigenous woodlands, are protected. And with those few contributions, it is a very comprehensive amendment bill I entirely support. Thank you.
Very well. Omanyo.